Hello, all, and welcome back to the channel. As you know, our family is preparing for a big move to the Philippines, not just yet, but in the near future. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is, can a foreigner actually work in the Philippines? I mean, if we think about moving there, retiring there, want to make sure we have a good financial situation. And if so, what kind of opportunities are out there, especially if you're moving with a family, even if you're single and just want to first start? Well, in today's video, I'm going to spend some time breaking this down. I'll talk about the rules for foreigners working in the Philippines, the kind of jobs that are possible, opportunities for business, online work, and also what happens if things don't go as planned. You know, we plan it out, but just like a love affair, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Um, so as we continue here, I want to make sure that I include some points that's going to be very helpful. So, like I said, if things this doesn't go well for you, things don't go well for you. Um, is there any social help or support system? So, hey, this is going to be a detailed discussion about if you decide to move to the Philippines, visit the Philippines, and decide to, want to get a job. You have to earn some type of money. So this is what we're going to discuss. Um, so let's continue. So now, I want you to just relax, grab a cup of coffee, tea, milk, whatever, relax, and let's get with it. Here we go. Point number one. And first thing first, can foreigners legally work in the Philippines? The short answer is yes, but with restrictions. Foreigners need a valid visa that allows employment, usually, a 9G, what they call it, work visa, on alien employment permit, AEP, the acronym for it, which is approved by the Department of Labor and employment. The employer is usually the one who sponsors this, but here's the tricky part. Certain jobs are reserved only for Filipino citizens. These include things like practicing law, medicine, teaching at the basic education level, and working in government. The idea here is to protect jobs for locals. So, as a foreigner, you're usually limited to specialized roles where you bring in skills or expertise that aren't widely available, locally. Skills, expertise such as corporate leadership roles in multinational national companies, technical expertise in IT, engineering, or aviation. Specialist teaching positions like international school and some managerial roles in large companies. Hmm. Sound like a winner if you have one of those or you set up for one of those. But the process for these roles are not simple. Paperwork can take time, and employers really have to justify why hiring a foreigner is necessary. Now that might be a bit of a bummer, but I'm sure someone has gotten through it. Now let's move on. Point number two. We're going to talk about what jobs foreigners could actually do in the Philippines. So now, if you planning on moving, like I said, moving, visiting, staying for a while, you want to get a job, make some money while you're there, um, this is for you. One, teaching English. Many foreigners think this is an easy option, but actually, most English teaching jobs are for locals. However, international schools and universities sometimes hire foreign teachers. The pay can be much higher than average, but competition is tough. Next bullet point. Corporate business jobs If you have experience in finance, IT, management, or specialized fields, multinational companies sometimes bring in expats. These jobs pay well, but they're usually arranged before moving. Really now. So I guess you tight if you handle it before you move. Okay, then we have call centers, PBO, which stands for the PBO, Business Process Outsourcing industry. But surprisingly, foreigners are rarely hired here because the Philippines already has a huge local workforce for call centers. You probably spoke to some other than English speaking, but they do speak English. So it's really an option here. Big push for that one. Tourism and hospitality. Some cases, resorts or hotel hire a foreign manager or chefs. If you have a background in hospitality, this could be a path. What do you think? Okay. The next one we have is freelancing and remote work. This is where many foreigners really thrive. With the internet, you can do online jobs that aren't tied to the Philippines, job market, things like digital marketing, content creation, programming, writing, consulting, the whole gamut. You earn dollars while living with Philippine level expenses. For families, this can be a sustainable model. Okay, next, business and entrepreneurship. Some foreigners start their own businesses. However, Philippine law says foreigners cannot own 100% of most businesses unless they fall into certain categories. Uh-uh. Usually, you need a Filipino spouse or partner to register the business. So some lucky, beautiful Filipino lady is going to be happy, maybe. Many expats go into restaurants, small resorts, or online businesses. Point number point to number three: opportunity if you're moving with a family. All right, let's see what we have here. If you're moving as a family, the type of work you do really matters, especially if you're the main breadwinner. You need stability. For you, that means online work or something that generates income in the dollars or euros while you spend in pesos. That exchange rate is good, at least for now. Okay. Um, some things families often try to look into while they're there is running a small family business like a cafe or a shop, teaching in private or international schools, working remotely for companies back in the US. The advantage of being with family is shared support. Your spouse may have connections, relatives, or opportunities that open doors. And if your spouse is Filipino, you have much more flexibility with property ownership and starting a business. Um, yes, I can agree with that. Yours truly, married to a Filipino. Okay. But of course, with kids, you have added responsibility, school fees, health care, daily costs. So your work has to be stable enough to support a family lifestyle. Now, let's go to point number four: opportunities if you are single. Okay. Now, what if you're single and moving to the Philippines? Your situation is more flexible. You can live on less, travel more, and test out different income streams without worrying about dependence. Single often try things like one, teaching or tutoring privately, starting YouTube channels or digital nomad businesses, freelancing, freelancing online in areas like writing, design, or IT, seasonal work with resorts or dive shops. Being single means you can adapt faster, relocate if you don't like one city or even um, live in a say a cheaper rural area, but it'd be nice. Not so nice. You're single. I mean, you just have yourself to do. But the flip side is, if something goes wrong, You don't have family backing you up day to day, and that could help. So, point number 5, can you rely on social help? Now, this is kind of important now, so stay with me on this one. Okay, so let's make sure that we we're going to um, pinpoint this a little bit because it's important. It's important. So let's say this again. Can you rely on social help in the Philippines? Here we go. So let's get real for a moment. What happens if you move to the Philippines and you can't find work or your income dries up? The Philippines does not have the same kind of social safety net you might be used to in the United States or Europe. There's no unemployment benefits for foreigners. There's no government support system that's going to cover your bills or housing if you can't make it. Healthcare exists, but field health, the government system that they have there, doesn't cover everything. And as a foreigner, you may still need private insurance. So basically, if you can't thrive financially, have a little next egg on the side on your own, then that might be a little problem. Now, some foreigners fall into tough situations and end up relying on family or even fundraising. That's why it's so important to have a solid income plan before making the move, having some savings, um, know where you're going to get your money from. The Philippines is an amazing country to live in, but it's not that kind of place where you want to arrive without savings or strategy. So, understanding is a must. Understanding this is a must for is having your financial stability intact. Point number 6, prepare your plan. If you decided that you're going to move or you're going to visit for a long time, you need to have a plan. So let's go ahead with this with point number 6 and see if we talk about your plan and see if you can get something out of this. And I hope that you can. Now, prepare your plan. So as a family, your strategy should be pretty straightforward. You're not moving with the idea of finding a local job because you know those are limited for foreigners. Instead, you focus online opportunities and projects that it let you earn from abroad while enjoying life in the Philippines. That way, you're not competing with local workers and you have financial stability. Now, if things go well, later on, you might consider investing in a small business, but just like make sure it's something sustainable and within the law. Because we don't want you coming back before you're ready to come back, whether here or Europe or Australia, Germany. So make sure we understand that and we have that. Okay. So let me close with this. Can a foreigner work in the Philippines? Yes, but with limits. The best opportunity usually come from remote work, entrepreneurship, or specialized fields. If you're moving with a family, plan carefully and make sure your income covers everyone's needs. If you're single, you have more flexibility, but you still need a plan. And remember, there's no safety net. So the responsibility is on you. Okay? Now, I'm sharing this info not to scare you, but just to be realistic. Moving to the Philippines can be an amazing experience, but financial stability is the foundation that makes everything else enjoyable. Thanks for watching. I know This long discussion was long, but if you love it, give it a like. Share it with someone, anyone considering the move or just visiting the Philippines. And subscribe for more about journey, conversation, commentary, takes, notes, okay, about life in the Philippines, about situation about the Philippines. I would love to hear from you. What kind of work you would do if you thought about moving to the Philippines? You just have, your pension plan is intact, whether Social Security, pension plan, plans from your job, you're pretty well set and you're ready to go. So appreciate it. As always, we thank you for clicking on, dropping by our video, our channel, our Philippines focus, and hope you and your family continue to be blessed. Thank you. Bye now.